7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, Def Con 1.
Once upon a time, there was a little trader. He had power, the power to see through divergence. He understood his mission, his goal, his journey. This little trader has his goal set on turning pennies into bag loads of nickels. Come and join this little trader's journey. Like, right now, we are about to be live. Seriously.
Welcome guys, here's FundedCoffee at ThinkDifferentTrading with another London Open. The London Open will start in about 1 minute, and what we see already right now is that we are retesting the POL here. We are rather sluggish again. It doesn't seem that the market really wants to change here, being sluggish during the Opens, but we'll see. I'm sure we can catch something here today. Hope you all have a good morning, evening, or night, depending where you are. And yeah, let's see. Let me turn on some music. Maybe the music wakes up the market a tiny bit. And me too. London's now open, so let's see. What we look for is some type of divergence play again. What we see here nicely is that currently the DAX is moving down, much stronger than the other ones, as you can see here on the 5-minute chart. So we might have already our leading indice here on the DAX, potentially, but we don't know yet for sure. We need more confirmation on the other indices before making our conclusion. Now how we are rejecting here on the POL. The other indices are currently going up. You also see it on our entry signals, potential entry signals to the long side right here on the indices. So we seem to be overall in the bullish environment, even so we are overall ranging, but of course that can change very fast. Very sluggish. Let's focus maybe on looking once at the bigger picture here on the NAS. My chart is opening. Okay. Let's see where we are. We're still overall in a tight range here, as you can see on the 50-minute chart especially. Our best bet would be wait till we break here above here, then we have a very clean traffic back to our New York open from the previous session. We also have here another level which is very important. To the downside, I see that it's rather difficult to trade here actually, as we are in the middle of the consolidation right here. This here being more or less the bottom and the top of the range, so we could potentially get a move to the upside also here. And then from here on we could see more to the downside. We also have other targets which we could use, for example the previous low here, the previous high, and other type of ADR targets. If you notice here, we are also, many of those levels are in sync with the big numbers here, which is very interesting. Let's look at the higher time frame here, especially on the 4 hour. We can see once we break below here, there's a lot of movement to the downside potentially till about here, which is also a significant level. So that will be very interesting here once we come down a bit more or up. Both are possibilities, but probably not right now, as we are in that consolidation here. So if we go up here, we might consider taking shorts. If we go down here, we might consider taking buys, as we are currently in a ranging market. If we break above, preferably on the 50-minute candle, you want a 50-minute candle closer above the range here or below the range here, and then you could consider start taking a trade. At Dow here will look very similar, as you may imagine. We have the range here. The bottom range looks a bit more interesting, but you already see here's a very important line here, which already gives us our bottom range. We also had it here on the top, by the way. And then here we have also an important level, the previous London close, Oldest market here additionally. And then once we break here, we can see that we get a nice confluence here of this important level and the New York Open from the previous session. So this would be our main target right here if we were to look for longs to the upside. Looking at the big figure levels, they seem to be a bit different here, but you can also then here look for smaller targets potentially if you don't want to hold all the way to the top here. This might be also unrealistic depending on the market movement, of course. I personally don't trade the SPY, so I will leave it up to you. I'm not sure how much you heard. I forgot to press my button to talk. Here's the DAX. You can see how different it is compared to the other ones. That's why I also like to have it on my chart. We are currently breaking above the important line here, which you see on my chart. So I will mark that up right here. And we retested somewhat the resistance here. And now we might go down a bit further. The main target would be right about here. Very important level. Confluences here. So the DAX looks a bit better for the downside, which might give an indication for our other indices that we might go down a bit. Hold again to trade to the short side here, as we are rather ranging right now. Now you can also see how we're very weaky on the DAX here. So the short side even so looking rather good. The higher time frame doesn't really look now that good on the lower time frames. So you notice also how the other indices are also ranging, as the DAX really isn't much of a leading indicator right now, or indice. So I would assume that we might go a bit higher later on. Just seeing how the market is currently not really willing to go to the downside here, despite the DAX efforts. Well, the market's not doing really anything on the indices. Maybe we can look then and take the opportunity to look at our Reich system. Maybe that's a bit more interesting here. Currently see here on the 4-hour, and let me change it real quick to the daily. We are kind of ranging here, but I would almost think that we are more bearish than bullish here on the GBP US dollar side for now. Of course, we could, for example, look now for an entry on the hourly chart once we get the confirmation here, but we didn't get it just yet. Also, you need to consider that the indices are currently more favored, for me at least, to go to the upside, so I would wait till we get downside confirmation for the indices before starting to trade the dollar strength. The yen here looks rather weak here, but it's strong. We also see it here on our currency strength meter that we are currently sloping upwards here, showing that we get some strength in the yen, even so the daily time frame is very weak, as you can see here. But there might be some momentum play to the downside. You also got a signal here which you could have taken. Yeah, because it confirms also through our indicators right here. What we currently do see is also weakness in the pound. So that confirms our trade idea here on the short side. So that could have been a decent trade if you were awake at that time. If you even were a bit earlier here, you could have taken a trade right here very early on. You might have got stopped out here, maybe, maybe not, depending on your stop loss. If you put it here, then you would have been still inside the trade here with beautiful profits. But of course, it's me showing the inside entry and charts. GBP CAD. Let's look at our constant strength indicator. We see the CAD being just on the top of that green line here. But overall, the CAD looks strong, and it might, as it's stopping here, might continue its push to the upside here for strength. So actually the CAD looks very interesting here to me. So if we can get maybe a bit more of a pullback, then we could get here potentially something interesting. Looking at the strength indicator for our chart, seems Euro, NSD weakest here. Yeah, you're already going here very far, so there's not a lot to do for us here anymore. But maybe we see some other interesting stuff here. Looking at NZD, but here's a beautiful entry, but nothing that I personally took. JPY gives us a new entry here, but on a large wick, so it's not really interesting for me to enter. We're overall, just the whole market seems to be in some type of pause mode here. Not doing really a lot. It's very interesting to see here how the DAX is moving. We're showing signs breaking down to the downside here on the 50-minute chart, but the 5-minute chart just looks horrendous, and the hourly chart just looks fine, I guess, to the downside, but there's really no confidence inside the market here. Overall, it still looks very bearish here compared to the other indices, but looking at the other indices, they don't tell the same story. As here, I would again see potential to the long side here. But not so much with the DAX for now. Once the DAX agrees and we go above the POL, we will likely see some more push towards that area. You see it slightly marked here. Very likely to that area here at least for the DAX, but there's currently not a lot to do. Let me see here. Yeah, as you notice here, also exactly on the big figure here, our level, so it's very important to watch. Anyway, as there's not a lot to do currently, I will shut down the stream. I don't think it makes any sense for me to show you guys that market. You see what I'm looking for. If you break below here, I will likely look for shorts. If you break above here, I will likely look for longs. There might be a retest, or maybe not. I will take our system and trades based on the system here. If we get a long signal and we break above here, then I take a long, and vice versa for the short. But I will send some updates in the Telegram chat. So yeah, thank you guys for joining, and I will see you in a bit in the Telegram chat. Bye bye.